From Janet. Question 3. 3. Flooding of East Coast Australia. What is the purpose of the flooding? Is it to flood dumps, create a setback for farmers/food, create lush, or something else? A friend of ours in that area saw plains cloud seeding before the floods. Water levels were 2 meters higher than any previous flood. A large geographical area affected, many towns/cities. Now a second flood in the same towns has started, the previous one being only 3 weeks ago. Our friend saw cloud seeding again. A lot of weird things, even the different rescue services not turning up to help. Local residents videoed the army filming themselves as a promo stunt, pretending to help. Thousands of homes completely underwater. Government and media playing down the number of people who died. Side note, not a question. I feel it would be remiss not to thank you Saint Germain for the Violet Flame meditation from Elizabeth Prophet, which I found via Sharon, smiley face. I've been doing it every day for a year and have felt far more peaceful, in sync and one with the world. Nice story. Each day I ask the Violet Flame to embrace my children as they go about their day, and in the early days of doing it, my daughter, who can see energy, said while driving home one night on a rural road she saw the color violet traveling next to her car. I then told her I've been asking the Violet Flame to do that, and she reckons it must have worked. I suppose you know all that though, lol. Thank you Sharon, my family love your work, it's made a huge impact on our lives. I've been wanting to tell you we think you're amazing doing those underground raids. Fearless. With much love, Janet. Saint Germain, in fact, both are being carried out. Yes, you are being deliberately flooded, however you are also experiencing clearing of dumps. This has been a tactic of the white side for a long time. Whenever any heinous act is initiated against the people, the white hats move in as well. That way whatever unhappiness the DS is causing is countered with a move of equal or greater purity, light. All is negated. Yes, unfortunate that the army simply allows themselves to be pawns in this war. So much power is in their hands, and frankly that counts for all of you. I am requesting of Sharon that she put up links to Violet Flame videos and such so that those wanting to try it may do so. Me, it does work, Saint Germain. Saint G, oh, I know. Me, I'm sitting with parents who have 2 quarreling boys. I bring in the Violet Flame and the boys break up their quarrel on their own. Otherwise it would have gone on all night in fits and spurts. One boy went upstairs to find some peace. Saint Germain, and this is a good point, Sharon. You changed the mindset of fighting for these boys to that of peace. This is what the Violet Flame will do. Imagine that on a worldwide basis. Perhaps we can initiate global meditations with the Violet Flame as you do for Saint Michael? Me, good idea. I'll work on that. Yeah, that's a great idea. We need to find some times that work best. Like the upcoming solstice, maybe? Probably Cobra and Sisterhood of the Rose will be doing it too, but why not add ourselves in as well? Saint Germain, very good. I will tell you what to write for them. Video links here. Question 2 from Beth. How did you help Thomas Jefferson write the Declaration of Independence? I have heard you were with him. Saint Germain, I had helped in many ways, but particularly with the script of the first 2 paragraphs. I was well aware of what the future would hold, and I warned Mr. Jefferson to take this into consideration in his writing of the Declaration. Specifically he wrote that, we, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress, assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name, and by authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare, that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain, is and ought to be totally dissolved. I specifically said, British Crown, not British King, because I knew that to say this would have only carried this claim of independence to the death of the current king, which was George III. So I specified Crown, as this would be a term of permanency or until the demise of the British Crown, at which time the United States might consider different treaties with the people of Britain. Mr. Jefferson, however, was not aware of the coming globalist regime and so only wrote the Declaration according to the political terms he was familiar with. What's more, it only specifies 13 states, not the entirety of the United States. However, this will be addressed soon. Me, I think the American people don't care. They take it as intending their entire government, and they've probably passed laws to that end. Saint Germain, the globalists then countered by overtaking Washington in 1871. At this point there was a shadow government that ruled the US from Britain. The very thing they had sought to escape they had succumbed to again. As you may suspect now, the British monarchy is failing. Those of the royal family are being arrested, or they have passed on, such as the Queen and her consort, Philip, and those who are left over have less power and fewer responsibilities to the people. Me, how about less jewels and money? Saint Germain, these will be given back to the people eventually. Now, the Declaration of Independence of the United States will be rewritten in future because it is contingent on the existence of a British monarchy. So this will be addressed in the coming years, and your independence will be rewritten to exclude globalist domination, and your laws will be rewritten to that end as well. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles, and organizing its powers in such form, as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. This was a statement of the time, but also again a statement which will hold true for the United States. Government will be dissolved because it does not meet the criteria of the Declaration, nor the Constitution. Question 2. What was the frequency of the Liberty Bell when it rang out after declaring our independence? Saint Germain, it was 550 Hz, a frequency associated with the fifth dimension. In fact, it is still ringing, however you cannot hear it now. At the time independence we declared people were of higher vibration, consequently these sounds were audible to them. I am sorry that you cannot hear it because it still rings for you. When it will be silent will be when America reaches that frequency itself. Question 3. Did you assist with other historical events focused around equality and liberty? If so, could you please describe some of the events and how the timelines were shifted? Saint Germain, I did, indeed. George Washington's army included 2,400 ill-prepared men, and they still beat the British military. As for the timelines shifting, when the impossible seems to have occurred, you can best believe there is a shifting of timelines. No more people were utilized, but the outcome was changed. It had to be. General Brock's army at Queenston, Canada was defeated by one musket shot. The death of General Isaac Brock brought disorganization to the British military and turned around the War of 1812 in favor of the Americans. I was the American man who bravely stepped forward to shoot him in the heart. As borders were being drawn, the Americans gained back many of their lost strongholds, such as Detroit. I was there when the treaties were signed to help delineate the new border which had never been defined to that date. Now it must be, and it has stayed that way since that time. I have done much to bring the United States to the point it is now, and I continue to do so. Boston Tea Party, I was one of the Sons of Liberty. That was in the day when you used to protest taxes as being unfair. And they are. They are theft. I was Paul Revere. I rode the horse while the true Revere slumbered in bed. Yes, I can assume a personality, and I did so to warn the American militia. I was the angel on the shoulder of Abraham Lincoln who prompted him to release the slaves. Yes. I have done much for the American people. There are more instances of my handiwork in your history. I was present when the decision was made by Roosevelt to enter the war. He was barely neutral, as America had claimed to be, but globalist powers had to be stopped. They were positioned in Germany, of course, as the Nazi Party, and they had to be put down. The only country that had that might was the United States. Me, thank you, Saint Germain. I'm only wondering what you're up to now if you've been so active in the world's history. Saint Germain, I assure you, only good things. Only good things.